Hi, my name is Ron Wilstein, and I'm a broker at Keller Williams Luxury Properties in Park City, Utah. I'm going to share with you what's been happening at the Lodge at Mountain Village in Park City in this webinar. Now, keep in mind that the Lodge at Mountain Village is a newer name for what was formerly known as the Resort Center and Park City Village combined. So that's what we're looking at today. Before I get into the specifics about what's been happening at the Lodge, let's look at the Park City real estate market overall so you can get a snapshot of what has been happening in our real estate market. Over the past 12 months, there's been 1,313 sales. This consists of homes, condominiums, and vacant land combined. This is all real estate brokerages combined, and that is down by 6% or 81 sales from the previous year. This graph here breaks it down into homes, condominiums, and lots, and the red bars represent the period of January through December 2016. Silver bar represents January through December 2015. So you're seeing the year-over-year comparison. You can see that the number of homes is up slightly by about 3%, from 502 sales up to 519, while condominiums down 11%, dropping from 694 sales to 621. Now, of course, the Resort Center or Park City Village, combined the lodges at Mountain Village, is in the category of condominiums, so fewer condominium sales. Lot sales also down about 13%, from 198 sales to 173. Now, what's happening with prices? Everyone always wants to know what's happening with property values. When we look at homes, and here we're looking at medium home sold prices, same time period I mentioned before. This time we're looking at two categories. We're looking at Park City and the Snyderville Basin, and prices are up nicely. In the Park City city limits, prices have risen by 7% year over year, from a medium sold price of $1,497,500 all the way up to $1,600,000. 9% increase in the Snyderville Basin, with the medium sold price rising from $881,350 all the way up to $960,000. Condominiums climbed double digits by 14% in the city limits, which of course is where the lodges is located, with the medium sold price climbing from $590,000 all the way up to $675,000. Snyderville Basin condos had a 12% increase from $400,000 to $446,803. So nice appreciation in both areas. In the area of vacant land, in the Park City, where there's not a lot of lot sales year over year, less than 30 each year, in the city limits, it's up by about 11%, with the medium sold price climbing from $615,000 to $680,000. But you see a nice increase, 27%, in the Snyderville Basin, climbing all the way up to $460,000 from the previous year, where it was $362,500. Now let's turn our attention to the Lodge at Mountain Village. And again, keep in mind this is the Resort Center and Park City Village. When we look at the sales there, they are actually up 17% year over year. Now, before you get real excited about 17%, it amounts to a one additional sale from the previous year. In 2015, there were 6 sales. 2016, 7 sales. That one additional sale equals 17%. Now, we always like to talk about sales and the marketplace in terms of absorption rate. And what absorption rate is, that is the rate that we anticipate the current inventory of properties at the lodges to sell based upon rate of sales over the last 12 months. Based upon that calculation, the absorption rate is 1 sale every 52 days. Now, there are currently 14 condominiums on the market at the lodges at Mountain Village, which equates to a 14-month inventory. The prices have ranged from $234,000 all the way up to $720,000, with the medium sold price being $450,000, which is, yes, 111% increase over the previous year. Specifically, the previous medium sold price was $213,500. This past year, 2016, it was $450,000. Now, before you go, wow, I just saw over 100% increase year over year, keep in mind that In 2015, we saw smaller units, fewer bedrooms selling, and in 2016, larger units. So it isn't simply a case of appreciation 111% for exactly the same type of properties. These were more expensive properties, larger units anyway, and so that accounts for the increase. But nobody's complaining. Nice appreciation there at the lodges at Mountain Village. Now, if you're interested in receiving a printout of the actual condominium sales, the specific units, what they look like, the prices, I'm happy to provide that. Simply send me an email at ron@thewilsteinteam.com. I'll send that to you. You can take a look at it, and if you have any questions after you look at it, give me a call. I also want to mention to you how you can get this sort of information, which I've summarized in this webinar, anytime you want. And all you do is bookmark in your computer BuyParkCityRealEstate.com/the lodge. And if you do, it will take you to a specific page on our main website, which deals with the activity there at the lodge at Mountain Village. So you don't have to hunt and look around. Just go to that bookmark location, and you can see information and see the most current webinar and what's on the market, and you might find it very helpful. Now, before we wrap up, I want to talk about Park City's changing market. There's definitely change ahead, and it's important that we talk about this in order to be well informed about our changes in our marketplace. The Park City real estate market is changing in that we are moving from a limited supply, double-digit price appreciation market to a frequently overpriced market with buyers choosing not to pay the next record high sale price. We've gone through multiple years where we've seen this double-digit appreciation. It's great, but there is some resistance on the part of buyers. Buyers are afraid of paying what sellers want today, which is often a new record price, because they fear that values may drop in the next 6 months. Nobody wants to buy a property only to see the values drop. That's the last thing they want to do. Now, what is fueling this sentiment is two main things. Number one, there's a lot of national news that you can read about or hear on the news, and it's dealing with overall national real estate slowdown. We're seeing articles like this around the country: Aspen real estate in first ever sustained nosedive. Here's another one: falter economy brings real estate market down with it. Further summer slowdown seen in Manhattan's luxury real estate. And overpriced homes may be slowing down LA's market. When you see these sorts of headlines, even though real estate is always local, you can't help but wonder if this is going to have an impact in my vacation home area, Park City. And so that's causing some people to have some reluctance, some concern about property values. The other thing is that buyers' belief that Park City's prices can't keep going up at the pace that we have seen in recent years. Now, every single month we have a market update webinar, and we present this information. We adjust it every single month by going back for 12 months, and we've been reporting on double-digit appreciation with medium home sold prices and with condo prices. But we are starting to see a bit of a change here. What does this mean? Number one, property owners who want to sell need to not be so aggressive or greedy in pricing their properties for sale. So there's an adjustment happening, and if you try to always get the highest possible price and beat the last deal, you may not sell your property at all. We try to encourage sellers to realize that once they start negotiating with interested parties, they need to consider, if they don't put together a deal, that they may not see an offer for a while, because we're seeing a changing market, and it could be lower in the future. So you want to be prudent as a seller to negotiate the highest possible price that you can, but not be too greedy in the process. You want to look carefully at what we call a total market overview, or TMO analysis, and price your property accordingly. Now, a comparative market analysis, often referred to as a CMA, is looking specifically at your property, looking at what's happening at the lodges at Mountain Village. A total market overview extends beyond that, looks at your competition at the base of the resort and even toward Canyons Village, and says, if somebody didn't buy a resort property, a resort center or Park City Village unit, what would they be competing with? That helps you understand what your real competition is in the marketplace. And that's important in order to make a well-informed decision if you're looking at selling your property. We always say negotiate the highest and best price you can and be content with that. It's going to be, you're going to make money. There's no question about it, unless you bought it at the absolute height of the market, and our market has even returned to that point and surpassed it. But when you see such prices going up for a long period of time, everyone is grabbing for the next highest price. Negotiate a good price and realize no single sale will change your life. Get the best price that you can, but don't jeopardize a deal by looking for something that buyers will resist. Over the last several years, I've pointed out a market phenomena, which I've called the 10% pricing rule. I observed it in Park City's market, and I've been up here 28 years, and really, until the last 3-4 years, didn't really see this pattern. And so once I did, I wanted to point it out. In essence, here's the rule. An acceptable list price is up to 10% above an identified fair market value for your property, of course, based upon comparable sales. An unacceptable list price is more than this 10% above the fair market value. That's pushing the market too hard, and you're not likely to sell your property. Let me illustrate with this graph. We're looking at this orange line, and we see fair market value. Put your property on the market, it's likely to sell in the first 3 months, and you'll be happy, or at least you ought to be happy, because it represents where the market is. You end up selling your property. But if you want to take advantage of a rising market, you want to price it higher. If you price it at 10% above the fair market value, it may not sell in 3 months. It might take 6 to 9 months, but you'll get a higher price. If you split the difference, let's say priced at 5% above fair market value, you might sell in 3 to 6 months. So it depends how quickly you want to sell and what your objectives are. The important thing is do not price over that 10% mark, because you're not likely to sell it at all. And with this change in the market, I'm watching it carefully, and this 10% rule might become a 8 or 9% rule. I'll know in a couple months, but the market's definitely changing. And with that change, it's time to adapt to that change. You don't want to be foolish about phenomena that you're seeing in the marketplace. So what is the future of Park City real estate? You don't want to sell your property for less than what you should in today's market if you're going to sell your property. However, beware of asking too much and sabotaging your ability to sell your property at all. That we are seeing because properties that have not sold are staying on the market longer. It's not uncommon for me to see an email like this: great price reduction, now $997,000. What you can't see, because it's kind of small print here, is that the original price was $52,000 more. This is a huge price reduction, $52,000. They priced it too high. Here's another email that I frequently see. Seller says, bring all reasonable offers. Again, you can't see it because it's small, but the seller has reduced their price since the original listing $195,000. Now it's currently listed at $1,495,000, but they were way too high. Here's another one. $50,000 price drop for Labor Day. Okay, actually a little over $50,000. Too high. If you have to adjust your price, and you have to justify that much, you started way too high. Well, if you're interested in more information about pricing your property right, you can go to BuyParkCityRealEstate.com/price right. There's a webinar specifically talking about the 10% rule, but going into greater detail than I am here. Check it out if that's of interest to you. And if you want our input on how your property may compare to similar properties that have sold, give us a call. You can call Doug or myself. We're happy to come by, look at your property. If you're here locally, visit with you. If not, call you up and go over what our findings are. You want to learn how much your lodge property is worth in today's market? Visit us at viewparkcityrealestate.com. Scroll down from that main page to learn what your property is worth. It's just on that home page. There's a form there. Take less than a minute to fill it out. Hit send, and we will contact you and make arrangements, see your property, and let you know what it's worth. If you have any questions at all about Park City Real Estate, send your questions either to myself, Ron at thewilsteinteam.com, or to my colleague, Doug at thewilsteinteam.com. If you want us to give you a call back, include your phone number a preferred time, we'll give you a ring. Finally, I want to just remind you that every single month we do a monthly update on the Park City real estate market. It's about 20 minutes in duration. We update it around the 15th of the month. And we're always giving you an update on prices and what's sold in Park City, so you can look at that at any time and have an update. And then we usually talk about 2 or 3 other topics that are timely and on other people's minds. So check it out, and it's always available for you to enjoy. Well, with that in mind, I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this webinar. Here to assist you in any way that I can, and just take a moment here to meet our team and see a few more details, and then this video will come to an end. Thank you.